Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Open Mind Intuitive Tarot message. This will be a collective message for all signs pertaining to the transit of Uranus into the sign of Gemini, which will last for about 8 years. Okay. So Uranus is the sign of change, radical, unexpected changes and shifts. And Uranus likes the sign of Gemini a whole lot more than it likes the sign of Taurus, okay? So Uranus is about eccentricity, individualism, uniqueness, radical shifts and changes in movement, in thought, in communication. We're going to see the AI becoming a lot more prevalent, okay? And disruptive. We're also going to see a renewed interest in literacy, literature, writing, reading, the spoken word during this time period. There are going to be people who are going to break out of the mold of traditional thinking by way of conditioning, brainwashing, religion, all those other systems. You can see the government is working really hard to bring the collective back to the Abrahamic religions through this Islamic warfare. The Crusades is back with the Catholics versus the Muslims. They're trying to guide humanity back into the Piscean age of faith-based thinking, not knowledge-based thinking and scientific thought. Okay, so humanity at large, we are stepping outside of the delusion and the fog of the age of Pisces, which was about belief systems, Hollywood, media, fantasies, magic, wishful thinking, which has its place. But Gemini and Pisces are in a square aspect for a reason, okay? Gemini represents scientific thought, right? What we can prove, what we can substantiate, especially Mercury in Gemini and Mercury in Virgo. Mercury in Pisces is more so psychic and intuitive. So it doesn't mean that Mercury doesn't have a spiritual side or spiritual expression. But again, Uranus in Gemini is more so about radical changes and shifts in the way that we think as a collective. And this is going to be conveyed through various types of media, books, telecommunications, internet stuff, so on. AI is going to be used to replace journalists. There are going to be a lot of AI authors, but because of that, humanity is going to push back. We're going to start seeing a lot more people rebelling against AI authorship by creating their own literature, right? There's going to be people who take pride in writing their own books, right? So plagiarism is rife in the world of telecommunications, social media, technology. It's easy to just replicate someone's story or their art or whatever. This is going to happen. But there's now going to be a pushback from traditional authors or people who write their own stuff, or not just write music creators, right? There's going to be a competition between the traditional artists or traditional creators and people who are grifting using AI to help them to think and to write, okay? So yeah, you're going to have to prove that you are who you say you are with Uranus and Gemini. You're not going to be able to regurgitate what someone else says and be seen as some sort of guru. You're going to have to prove that you're actually erudite in what you're speaking about. And if you cannot, then there's going to be consequences, right? So yeah, Aries. Uranus is going into your third house of short distance travel, neighbors, siblings, media, writing. Not necessarily publishing. Publishing is more so a ninth house thing, which is what you share with the whole world. But you'll be more interested in writing, okay, at this time. Or you're thinking differently about the way you communicate as well. Your relationships with your neighbors and to your neighbors could change. You could live around people of a different culture, different races, different nationalities, different professions. You're living in I want to say a transient community, but you could be drawn to a transient lifestyle, or you have a lifestyle where you can live in multiple cities, like having Airbnbs in different parts of the country or the world. So you could be interested in like a lot of short distance travel that's not really rooted or grounded in anywhere solid or stable. So it doesn't mean you'll be homeless. It just means that you'll have maybe some ants in your pants. You'll feel restless. You'll feel like you just have to be on the move move, and you're here to gather information. You're interested in learning from the people around you. You could also be interested in starting your own media company or using social media to publish your books, okay? What's going on with Aries? How will Uranus in Gemini affect Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs? Uranus in Gemini for Aries, please. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Michael, for your protection. Patience. You're being asked to practice patience right now. It is not easy to do this, but you're strong, and there is a reason why things are not aligning in the way you want them to in this moment. Have patience. It will eventually work out, and I would attribute this to the Saturn in Aries transit on your sun sign or your ascendant or your moon sign, okay? So Saturn is the planet of time, resistance, patience, waiting, delays. And you're being told to be patient for a reason. More than likely, you're going to have to get your money up or prepare for some sort of changes or shifts in the economy. Like, so for example, if you want to make a certain move now, right, you want to move across the country, you want to make a career change, the universe could be stalling you because your objectives and your goals are based on the current circumstance or state of the economy, right? So based on the current state of the economy and the current state of your finances, you want to make a big move in a different part of the world or the country. The universe is telling you that things are going to change. Things are going to shift. Your economic situation is going to shift, or the circumstances that are informing your decisions are going to change. And so you have to wait because things will not be the same. They're going to change in some drastic, dramatic way. The Saturn is going to go in your second house in a couple of years. Saturn in the second house is usually some sort of obstruction to your finances, either a job loss or a loss of income, or you have more expenses, more debts to pay, more taxes, right? And so you're being asked to take a beat and reassess and reevaluate and make sure that whatever decisions you're making, the circumstances around those decisions are sustainable. This is something you can predict, and foresee for for a long period of time. So if you're making $8,000 a month currently, right, $10,000 a month, and you want to buy a house based on that amount of income, you may have to shift and get something that's less expensive. Be patient, save your money up, because circumstances will change for everybody radically. I mean, the economy, when it comes to housing, real estate, finances, politics is going to be an issue. If you plan on traveling long distance, again, be patient, or moving abroad, be patient, because geopolitically things are kind of up in flux, and they're going to become even more disturbing or more disruptive over the next several years, because Uranus is forming a trine to Pluto in Aquarius. So we're seeing it now, the shifting of global powers, right? Geopolitically, between Russia and Iran and China and the United States, the West versus the East, and so on. So this political paradigm is going to perhaps change your financial situation, real estate, and your ability to move around. So you're going to have to wait a little bit before you make any major decisions when it comes to your finances, your resources, and other significant areas of your life. But you guys are going to be interested in moving. Okay, what's going on with Aries? Let me get 2 cards for Aries. Two cards for Aries, please. Uranus and Gemini. How will Uranus and Gemini affect Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs over the next 8 years? What things do they have to consider? Situations, circumstances, practical considerations. What do you guys have to consider? Yep, movement, Knight of Wands, 9th house. This is long distance travel. Okay? You might want to move, and you think you'll be able to move based on the way that things have been for the past couple years for you. When Jupiter entered your sign and then it went into Taurus, your finances really picked up. But and Jupiter's also currently in your 4th house. You guys might want to move. You're going to have to chill out and wait. Wait, I would say at least 9 months. Wait at least 9 months. King of Cups. Okay. This is a relationship partner moving to a Scorpio. We do see a heart here. You guys may want, you may have a long distance relationship with someone in a different country. You guys can't move together right now. There's going to be a delay when it comes to citizenship, long distance travel, naturalization processes. You're not going to be able to fortify or solidify this relationship at this time. You're going to have to wait. You have to wait a little bit. You guys could also be impatient and like rush into a relationship without really, paying attention to the red flags. Neptune is in your sign too. So Neptune is there with Saturn, but Saturn is moving away from Neptune really, really quickly. So Saturn will be in Taurus in about 2 years, while Neptune is going to be in Aries for the next 14 years. So as of right now, the universe is asking you to be patient before you make a decision about this person that you're interested in, okay? Because you're only seeing some sort of fantasy about who you think they are. You're being guided by your emotions and lust and loneliness. But there's something about this situation that you're not taking into consideration. This person, there's things about them that you don't know. There's a clash here. Okay, so this could be a relationship situation, a living situation, a job, finance, but the Knight of Wands is not patient. It's not. The King of Cups is someone who's emotionally stable and balanced. The Knight of Wands is not necessarily that. The Knight of Wands moves on impulse. They move on impulse and instinct and ego sometimes. So you're being asked to be a little bit more responsible, mature, and patient. Clarify the Knight of Wands and the King of Cups. The 2 court cards here. So 10 of Pentacles upright, marriage, strength reverse. Yeah, there's something here you're not seeing. You're trying to rush into a commitment, but you're going to have to wait. And while you're waiting, you're going to find out things about this person that made you happy that you waited. You're really happy right now. And I think your enthusiasm is making you think that this is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you have to be aware of all of the potential setbacks, especially if this is an ex that you're going back to. If this is an ex, they may have appeared to have changed. But even though they may have changed, their circumstances may have changed too. So perhaps in the past, if this person was like a player or whatever, they were treating you a certain way. Now they're coming back humbled, saying all the right things, but something has shifted for them too in a practical sense that could change the dynamics of your relationship. So you have to be careful about just making impulsive, impetuous decisions. You do want to move quickly because there's a lot of emotion here. King of Cups, you trust this person, but the strength in reverse, there's like this, somebody still has vices, but their vices are kind of subdued because they've been humbled or something like that. They've been humbled by life and circumstances. So now they're coming back thinking that things are different. Pisces is here, the fish. even though this is the card of Scorpio, we have a fish here, right? Neptune is affecting your perception of this person, this relationship, and this situation altogether. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge to, it's like God is kind of blocking you. The universe is blocking you, or blocking this from coming together. There could be travel delays, this stuff going on, job interference, like things are happening that are showing you that you have to wait and be patient. This person may not be who you think they are. They're coming back for a different reason. Or even if they do come back and they apologize, they're not really prepared to give you what they're saying in some way. Like they're overselling themselves. The Strength card reverses someone who has a vice and addiction. Poor impulse control. So these are two, somebody still wants to have their fun. They're coming back humbled because you could have left them in the dust. Like, you know, I don't need this anymore, especially if you're an Aries. I don't need this anymore. I'm good. And they could be coming back with hat in hand saying all the right things, but they still have vices. They have not really dealt with all the issues that caused the breakup in the first place. Or this could be you wanting to move to a whole new town. You have the money, the place is secure, but then something pops up where you can't get the house. You could find out there were structural issues. There was property tax liens on the house. Like, be patient, just wait a little bit and then make your decision, okay? About 9 months, the month of October, not this year, next year, September, October, November. 9 months from now is, was this May, February, I believe? January, February, something like that. Either the 9th month of the year or 9 months from now. I'm getting 9 for some reason. You know, even though the 10 of Pentacles is here, the number 9 is important. Okay. All right, Aries, thank you for listening. Now into the sign of Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising signs. Okay, Taurus. Uranus is officially entering your second house of finances, the things you value, your resources. Now, this is kind of like having a double Taurus transit because Uranus was in your sign for 8 years, right? From 2018 to 2026, right about that, right? With the retrogrades and everything. Now it's entering the second house, which is still the house of Taurus, but it's now carrying the signature of Gemini. So you guys are thinking about your resources and your finances differently. Okay, you may find new ways of generating income or revenue. Reading, writing, publishing, public speaking. Starting a media company. A publishing company. Public speaking. What's going on with Taurus, Uranus, and Taurus? Sorry, how will Uranus and Gemini affect the sign of Taurus? How will Uranus and Gemini affect the sign of Taurus? You guys could end up traveling or moving long distance as well. Give. One, yeah, that's your second house of money, all right? One of the best feelings we can experience is giving to others. When we do so, we feel lifted up and our lives improve greatly because of someone else's happiness. Think of one way you can give to another today. And, you know, Taurus is not considered the most generous sign necessarily. They're not hoarders or greedy. I won't say greedy. They're not selfish, but they do like to accumulate things. And they can be generous to some extent, but I've known of some cheap Taurians too, depending on other house placements and planetary aspects. So you could be giving of your time, giving of money, giving of knowledge, giving of information, more so than money. Giving of some sort of support, information, knowledge. Okay, money could be there too, but I really, because Uranus in Gemini in the sign of the second house is like a gambling aspect. I don't like Uranus in Gemini when it comes to money. It's very speculative. So, you know, it's kind of dangerous when it comes to gambling. So I wouldn't advise giving money like that, or getting into speculative well, I'm not going to say that. Speculative investments can be both a boon and a bust for you, because Uranus is about it's not a reliable planet. So what goes up can also come down really quickly. You're going to have to be able to get in and get out, which is mutable energy, right? Rapid movement. So if you invest in something, pull your money out quickly. You're not going to be able to invest in like long-term stocks like that. The market is too volatile right now. There's like economic volatility, but you could create a sustainable source of income by giving of information, especially if you're someone who's in finances or who has a skill. You can make money as a teacher, an advisor, mentor, and so on. Okay, what's going on with Uranus and Gemini for the sign of Taurus? How will Uranus and Gemini affect the sign of Taurus over the next 8 years? Uranus and Gemini, how will it affect the sign of Taurus over the next 8 years? Eight of Swords, Gemini energy. You guys are still rebuilding after what happened with Uranus and Gemini. This transit was very challenging for you guys, especially for first decan Taurians who are now dealing with a Pluto square, the sun, moon, or rising sign. So lots of options. I don't know what to do. This is speculation. Too many options, leading to analysis paralysis. There's a fear of making a mistake. You can't go wrong when you're giving. So these strings or chords represent traditional ways of doing things, being bound by practical considerations, what's tried and true, what used to work before, what used to work but it doesn't work anymore. You're being held back by limiting thoughts and beliefs that have been cultivated by a system that no longer exists. So now you don't know what to do. Your prosperity will come from sharing of information. The traditional route is not available for you of making money. That's gone. Yeah, you're gonna make money by sharing information. You're like, well, what do I share? Do I know enough? Do I have enough information? Am I good enough at this? Am I qualified? If you're not qualified, then get qualified. Gemini is about mastery of knowledge, mastery of a skill. Once you become a master, you'll become more confident in sharing your information. If you don't feel confident, it means that you don't have enough information. You don't know enough. You still need to learn. Okay? So there's something that you're really good at, that you're gifted at. You have a natural talent or skill, but you have to cultivate it to a high level of competency and mastery to have the confidence to share it and make money off of it. But the potential is there. The potential is definitely there. Queen of Pentacles is your 9th house of long distance travel. You guys may end up, it's like you may end up going to another country to teach English or something like that. This is also book publishing too. 9 of Wands. Yeah, do I know enough? Am I good enough? I'm Prince of Reverse. This is you in reverse, not having confidence in yourself. There's a fear of making a mistake. Do I know enough? Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I credentialed enough? Something that wants, because, okay, first of all, Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. This is innovative ideas as it pertains to industry, using your resources more efficiently, right? These are people who disrupt the status quo when it comes to running a business. Cardinal Earth. So they take traditional systems and make them more efficient. You guys may have a more efficient way of communicating things, or creating a platform where you share information, like micro courses, stuff like that, micro learning. But again, you have to be confident in your skills to do this. This is Saturn energy, which is about mastery, patience, time. So you have to give time to yourself, or give yourself time to cultivate these gifts before you feel confident enough to share and give other people. But this is about sharing of knowledge. That's going to bring you wealth. The Empress reverse is kind of like I don't say lazy, but kind of complacent, a little bit materialistic, selfish. Empress reversed. Materialistic, selfish, lazy to an extent, right? Resting on their laurels and things of that nature. But something is changing in your finances. Could be because of a divorce. The second house opposition is the 8th house is divorce. You guys could be experiencing some sort of disruption to your marriage or relationship partner that forces you to find ways of earning new and different sources of income from various sources, having multiple side hustles, multiple gigs, selling books, selling courses, selling your expertise, mentorship. You're not going to be able to do what you have been doing the same way anymore. Okay. All right, let's go into the sign of Gemini. Uranus is in your sign, Gemini. I know you guys are excited. It is lit for y'all in good ways, because Uranus likes Gemini a lot. Okay. All right, spirit guides, archangels, how will the Uranus in Gemini transit affect Geminis? The first house, the house of the personality, self-image, relationships to others, right? How you see yourself, your status in the world. This could be a radical change in your relationship status, marriage to divorce, divorce to marriage, relocating, moving to a new country, new company. Also changes to your career. You guys could start a business. This is your time to shine, Gemini. Uranus is trining into Pluto, which is your 9th house. 9th house of publishing, media. You guys might start your own media company, own publishing company, own book company, own TV company. What's going on with Gemini? Sun, moon, and rising signs. Uranus and Gemini, please. Give, just like Taurus, giving of information. One of the best feelings we can experience is giving to others, giving others a platform to speak, to share their ideas, their thoughts. When we do so, we feel lifted up and our lives improve greatly because of someone else's happiness. Think of one way you can give to another today. Giving of others, okay. Over the next 8 years, you're going to experience a lot of changes in these areas of your life. Career, personality, personal outlook, relationships, living situations, so on. I would even say be careful getting into business with people, because Uranus is opposing your 7th house. So business partners may become, I don't want to say enemies, but you could have like sudden breaks from spouses and business partners for whatever reason. You guys can relocate, difference of opinion, other stuff. What's happening with Gemini? Gemini, the moon card, interesting. Right, as I mentioned, being careful about partnerships. The moon is Cancer and Pisces energy. Cancer is your 2nd house of money. Pisces is your 10th house of career. there's something you're going to have to get together before this can be successful. Either it's insecurities or self-doubt or addiction issues. There's something that's off here. Self-sabotage could be an issue. I'm feeling something, yeah. I'm feeling something. You guys have to get your emotions together. There could be emotional imbalances. What do I want to say? Something's at the tip of my tongue and I cannot articulate it. I'm feeling something that I cannot articulate. That's what the issue is. There's no swords here. You guys are feeling something. So you guys may not have made this decision yet. There's like this desire to do something, a goal, a plan, a dream that you have, and you haven't fully figured out how you want to get it done. A part of that confusion comes from the fact that you don't know what your purpose is. You don't know what you're here for yet. You're going to discover that over the next several years. But it's like, if you don't know who you are, you don't know what your gift is to the world. So you're giving what exactly? What is your platform about? What are your books about? What knowledge are you sharing? What aspects of yourself are you willing to give to the world? And you have to value those things before you can give them away or share them with other people. So this is about cultivating some sort of value. Scorpio is your 6th house. Pisces, again, is here too. 6th house is the house of work, daily habits or routines. There's something you have to get together. Something is not organized. Something is a bit frantic. Uranus in the 1st house is somewhat chaotic and frenetic. Your energy is not stable and grounded. You're going to feel restless and like compelled to do a bunch of different things at one time. Scattered energies. The energies are scattered because you don't know what you're here to do yet. You're trying to like find anything that sticks. You guys have Taurus in your chart. Taurus, someone in rising signs. 8 of Swords is somewhat here as well. So because you don't know who you are, you don't know what your contribution is to the world, you don't know how to cultivate that. So what am I giving? Exactly. I want to give. I want to be of service. But what am I giving exactly? What makes me different from everybody else? 5 of the Moon card, please. Ace of Swords reverse. Yes, confusion. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want to say. I know I want to do something, but do what exactly? And why am I doing this? The why is what sustains the what. Because you're going to come up against conflict and issues. That's par for the course. Conflict and issues are, natural part of life. Especially when Uranus goes into your sign in about 5 years. Not Uranus, Saturn goes in your sign in about 5 years. This is a long-term situation. A long-term plan, journey. You're going to have to figure out the why so that the what is sustainable. How are you going to do this? King of Cups. King of Wands. Confidence in yourself. What makes me unique? Leo energy. 3rd house energy. What do I want to share with the world? Why am I doing this? So you feel compelled to do something. You're emotionally triggered by something. You want to change the world or affect change in some way, but you don't know how you want to do it because you don't know who you are. There's a lack of clarity here about your purpose and your role in life. Leo is the 5th house. This is the house of the individual identity and ego. Who are you in the world? Why are you here? What are you meant to do? Being authentic, showing up as an authentic representation of your soul's expression. An authentic representation of your soul's purpose. Because what happens is when you have Gemini, when you have the 1st house, there's a mask, a persona. You've cultivated a persona that's in contradiction with your purpose in life. So who you thought you were does not align with what you want to do. So perhaps you have a platform that talks about things that are not in alignment with where you're going or what you think needs to be done politically. Suppose your platform is about I don't know, relationships, and now you want to get more into politics, stuff like that. You're doubting your qualifications. You're doubting if this is what you're meant to do. You don't want to lose your audience potentially because that's where the money is. So it's like you got to get something together. What are you willing to sacrifice for the opportunity to give to the world authentically? What aspects of your identity are you willing to sacrifice to be a clear vessel for your purpose, your soul's purpose? A clear vessel for, I don't want to say God, but yeah, a clear vessel for God. You see this crown here, crown chakra, intuition, insight. Your intuition is telling you that you're going to have to make a sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice something that you've worked hard to cultivate in order to give the way that you're being guided to give. It's a short-term sacrifice, but one that has to be made. This shift, it's almost like, what are you willing to give in return for what you want? If you want love, what are you willing to sacrifice for that? Because if you don't have it now, there's something you've been doing that's preventing you from attracting love, right? If you want prosperity and abundance and you don't have it now, there's something you've been doing that's preventing you from attracting abundance and prosperity. Are you willing to sacrifice that very thing that you've used to protect yourself from vulnerability? Whatever you've used to give yourself a shield or cloak of vulnerability is going to have to be sacrificed for you to be able to give to others authentically. You want to give authentically. You don't want to be another grifter on the internet or another, another con man, another weirdo, another fake. You want to be real. Gemini's like keeping it real. Now, Neptune and Gemini did spin you around quite a bit. Not Neptune and Gemini. Neptune and Pisces spun you around quite a bit for the past 14 years. A lot of y'all were very confused. You developed addictions and you just started acting erratically, like Kanye West and Azalea Banks, for example. Even Lauryn Hill. Just topsy-turvy, inconsistent, self-destructive behavior. Right? Addictive behavior. But you're coming out of that now. It's like, where the hell have I been? You guys are waking up from some sort of dream or a fog or illusion. And you're like, okay, everything is burned down. How do I rebuild? I'm not who I thought I was. I can't go back to the way things were. But who am I? What am I supposed to be doing here? So now that Neptune has sort of eroded or destroyed your sense of identity and ego over the past 14 years, you have to rebuild that and get back to being you. That's going to take some time. So you have to give to yourself first before you can give to others, okay? And giving to yourself requires you to sacrifice some aspect of your life that has been preventing you from living authentically. All right? All right. Thank you, Gemini. On now into the sign of Cancer. And my name is Larry. I like a woman who loves everything and everybody. It's such an old song. I don't know why I'm thinking about that. Okay. Come with me, baby, to lovely. Let me show you how sweet it can be. Sharing your love with Larry. Who's Larry? Does anybody know a Larry here? You might meet a Larry? I don't know. Are you guys? Anyway. Okay, Cancer. Uranus is going to your 12th house. 12th house is the house of the subconscious dreams. Listen, your dreams are becoming very lucid at this time. Lucid dreams, lucid daydreams, lucid nightmares. You're going to start seeing colors in your dreams, okay? Psychic, intuitive insights and downloads, which will help you to release self-sabotaging behaviors, negative attitudes, and beliefs. Uranus is going to blow up the illusions that you've been telling yourself. It's almost like you're going to, you may find out that you are your worst enemy, or you will discover who your enemies are through your dreams. Uranus and Gemini is happening. Trine Pluto in Aquarius, the 8th house, definitely. More psychic abilities for some of you guys, and Gemini as well. What's going on with Uranus and Gemini for Cancers? Grounding, yes, you're going to need to be grounded, because them dreams are going to be real intense the next 8 years. You're being asked to ground yourself. You've been spending too much time in your head, and it's time to pay attention to your body and to the earth. Go outside and plant your feet in the ground and enjoy the centering feeling this brings. You're going to need both. You're going to need to ground yourself, because your dream state is going to be so strong, so intense, so lucid, that you're going to have a hard time distinguishing reality from your imagination. If you have nightmares, you may start to believe that your nightmares are actually like prophecies and predictions, and it's not that. It could just be, psychic baggage that's being brought up again, or bubbling up to the surface, to help you, to see it and process it in a different way. But yeah, you're going to have to get grounded, because if, Uranus in the 12th house can sometimes indicate mental health breakdowns too. Okay. And I think a lot of Geminis went through this. They had Neptune in Pisces transit with Uranus in the 12th house. So yeah, a lot of them had psychological breakdowns. You guys could be, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you have to make sure you stay rooted in reality. And don't believe everything that you see in your dreams and your imaginations. Don't do it. You're going to be receiving also signs from like omens, spirit animals, visits from, insects or animals to give you like spirit guides. To give you guidance on how to proceed forward. Pay attention to that. The 8th house is where Pluto is currently, and the 8th house is the house of secrets, things that are hidden, your hidden fears, anxieties, power dynamics. So your dreams may revolve around either losing power or gaining power in some way. There are fears about this, losing power. So some of you guys may have a sabotaging trait where if you feel like you're losing power in a situation, you'll just give up. You'll destroy it, as opposed to fighting for something that is rightfully yours. Something like that. What's going on with Uranus in Gemini for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs? Uranus in Gemini, please. Ace of Cups. Cancer, and my name is Larry. I'm looking for a woman who loves everything and everybody. That song is so old. I forgot who sang it. Let me show you how sweet it can be. Sharing your love with Larry. Who's Larry? 6 of Swords. Ace of Cups. Okay. So the Ace of Cups is about you, Cancer. 6 of Swords is also about you. And this is Aquarius energy. This is, again, your 8th house stuff, right? The Ace of Cups is about self-love, how you're nurturing and grounding yourself. Because you have a lot of baggage you have to get rid of, especially if you're a Cancer Moon or Cancer Sun. There's a lot of baggage you have to get rid of. Pluto in Capricorn dragged a lot of you guys. Dragged. Okay? And now Saturn and Neptune are forming a square to your Sun, Moon, or Rising sign. So there's a lot of baggage you have to get rid of before you can move forward. Psychological and emotional baggage. You guys may have believed that holding on to grudges was a form of self-care, because as long as you held on to the grudge, the person that hurt you couldn't hurt you again because you were mad at them and you wouldn't let them back in. It was a way of creating boundaries around yourself by being mad. So your boundary was being mad, as opposed to saying, you know what, I'm going to pour into myself. I'm going to nurture myself. I'm going to take care of my body, my mind, and my spirit, so that I'm not insecure enough to let this person or anybody hurt me again. Anger is a false sense of security. It gives you a false sense of security. It turns into a prison, like Eight of Swords. It can become a prison. So you don't want to be angry anymore. Your anger is causing you to have nightmares or like unpleasant dreams about losing power or taking someone else's power, or giving power away, or something like that. Because you falsely believe that your power came from holding grudges or holding on to bad memories. Because by you holding on to bad memories, you would not let people hurt you again. It's like putting up a shell or wall. And then you became, and now it's, so this, I'm going to say this, there's some mental disturbances happening here. Not because like you need drugs, but you might need therapy. You might need dream therapy, something like that. Your dreams are telling you something about what's happening, what you're wrestling with, what you don't want to face. There's shame, there's guilt, there's anger, there's frustration. There's a lot of repression of emotions, but the repression became anger. You started to, push people away. Yep, Queen of Swords reverse. BITCH. I'm looking for a woman who loves everything and everybody. And you're like, F that. You're like, get away from me. Don't say nothing to me. Get out of my face. Queen of Swords reverse, Libra energy. Don't say anything to me. Get away from me. I don't trust anybody. F everybody. So again, I'm going to pull back. I'm going to become bitter and hateful because the anger is protecting me from getting hurt again. And it's not. It's actually causing you to have nightmares and other weird twerk. There's some weird, what's happening? Weird twitches, idiosyncrasies. You guys could be losing control of your mind, cognitive dissonance. Something is so repressed that it's coming out in weird ways. I want to say fetishes. It could be that. You guys have weird fetishes that are maladaptive and destructive because you haven't dealt with some anger. So this could like be, BDSM kind of stuff. Sexual torture or just other stuff that's not good. Fetishes that deal with like abuse and sadism. Because you don't want to deal with your anger towards a lot of people who've hurt you, feeling betrayed, feeling insecure, not grounded. All this water and air together, but there's no earth. Earth keeps you rooted in reality. Are those feelings real? Are your thoughts real? So you have warped emotions informing your thoughts. Or you have a warped thinking process that's affecting the way you feel. There's a break with reality that has to be addressed. And you need to go back out in nature, get back to the simple things in life. And some of you guys may have developed like weird compulsive behavior to like avoid the shadow. Hangman, 12th house energy. Because you're still stuck. You thought you moved on, but you didn't. You thought that being angry and being alone meant that you were independent and free and happy living your life, and it wasn't that. Your nightmares are going to prove that to you. Nightmares are just weird dreams about people from your past, things you're afraid of, monsters, whatever, shadows, ghouls, zombies, things come back from the dead that could be coming back for you to deal with. Not people in real life, but your subconscious is bringing up these emotions or bringing up these like memories of these people to help you to release them, let go of them. There's still an emotional attachment to people, places, and things from your past that you thought that you had gotten over, because you don't talk to them anymore. You don't want to be with them anymore, but you're still angry about what happened. And that anger is turning into ghosts, goblins, monsters, phobias, obsessive things, weird obsessions with cleaning, or just sexual obsessions, weird stuff. It's coming out in odd ways, okay? So yeah, this isn't in conjunction Libra and Pisces. You're not seeing how one thing is connected to the other. The reason why you're disturbed mentally is not because of your job or because somebody cut you off in traffic. You're disturbed mentally because you have not let go of the shadow. You haven't let go of the feelings that are associated with a negative experience. The experience is gone. It ended 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. But Cancer deals with the emotions, and the emotions are the moon. That's the shadow. So even though the experience is long gone, the emotions, the karmic attachment to those feelings they can last for centuries if you don't release them. They can last throughout lifetimes. That's why the South Node, within the nodes period, the moon is a very, I don't say demonic planet, but it can be quite dangerous, because the moon it collects the shadow energy. How you felt about something, even though that something it ended a long time ago, but your feelings about it will stay with you until you get through them, even if it's another lifetime. You don't want to carry this with you to the next life. Let go of it now, Cancer. Somebody named Larry could be involved. I like a woman who loves everything and everybody. You may have been like that before. Now you're the Queen of Swords reversed. Don't say nothing to me. Don't look at me. Don't think about me. Nothing. Okay, now into the sign of Leo. Leo, Uranus is in your 11th house of friends, groups, associations, wish fulfillment. This is good, and this is good for the most part because it's in the house that is a trine to it. And Uranus likes to be here, but I will say that you could lose friends quickly and gain friends quickly. You guys could have friends of different cultures, races, different ethnic backgrounds. Also, your friends could help you to achieve some sort of goal or wish fulfillment. You guys could move to a different part of the country to be around friends. Friends could help you set up shop in a different part of the world, like meeting friends on the internet that live in France and you live in Georgia, and these people can help you to set up shop, like parasocial friendships, right? People helping you from other countries, like they got a place to stay or whatever. You can Airbnb with them. They're legit. They're not going to do whatever. But Uranus is also a very unpredictable planet. So you guys can make plans with friends and then they'll cancel the last minute for whatever reason, and that could end the friendship. So be careful and use discernment. Don't trust anyone 100% with anything, regardless, especially when it comes to money. Okay, going on for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. You're gonna have to let go of some friendships too, because you've outgrown them intellectually. Patience, just like, who's this, Aries? You're being asked to practice patience right now. It is not easy to do this, but you're strong, and there's a reason why things are not aligning in the way you want them to in this moment. Have patience. It will eventually work out. Now, Saturn is in your 9th house of long distance travel. So you guys, like Aries, may want to move to a different country, different part of the world, different state. You may want to move homes. Gotta wait a little bit for that. You have to wait. You don't have all the information you need. What's going on with Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, Uranus and Gemini? How will it affect Leos? How will Uranus and Gemini affect Leos over the next 8 years? Don't stand so close to me. Don't stand, Knight of Pentacles. Don't stand. So Virgo, working hard to accomplish your goals. Your second house of finances. Why is that song coming up now? Is that by Sting? It's about a school teacher who has a crush on his student or vice versa. Why is that coming up? Oh, Lord. What? This girl is half his age. Don't stand so close to me. Okay. Some of you guys could have your eyes on someone who's much younger than you, who's not mature or grown up yet. What the hell is this? This person could be much younger than you, or you're much younger than this person. So you may have to wait till they're legal to get involved with them, until they graduate college or high school. That song is playing so loud in my head right now. Please don't stand so close to me. There's a mutual attraction here, but something about this is taboo. Pluto in the 7th house is taboo relationships. It's in Aquarius. You have to be patient if you're interested in somebody much younger than you. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just reading the cards. People are going to do what they do anyway. I don't advise this situation to be what it is, but apparently there's someone here who's interested in someone much younger than them. You could be the younger person, Leo, or the person that you're involved with could be much younger. They need to grow up a little bit. They may not be, illegal in age, but they could be like 20, 21, and you're in your 30s. Now, Leos do like younger partners. They tend to gravitate towards younger partners because Leos are young at heart for the most part, unless they have like Saturn in the 7th house. But a lot of Leos, they're not afraid of dating younger men or women like that because they're the 5th house of like joy and fun and children. They want to have fun. They don't want some old raggedy man or woman. So you guys maybe attract somebody much younger than you, but they don't have their stuff together. So you're gonna have to wait for them to grow up a little bit. What kind of what is this? Pluto in the 7th house. There could be some complexities in this relationship socially. Pluto in Aquarius is society. It could be a taboo relationship with a Virgo. Yeah. Please don't stand so close to me. Young teacher, the subject of schoolgirl's fantasy. She wants you so badly, knows what she wants to do. Lord, I'm not encouraging this at all. This is, wow. Somebody's really young. 7 of Swords. Come on now. Well, somebody's lying about their age, or someone's lying about their age, or that there's something happening at work that shouldn't be happening. Please, it's a beautiful song. Like the melody and the lyrics are gorgeous, but the subject matter is trash. Young girl, get out of my mind. My love for you is way out of line. Run along, girl. You're much too young, girl. Damn. This is obvious as hell. You're gonna have to wait for somebody to grow up. Someone is interested in someone they should not be interested in. This could be a college student with their professor, a high school student with their teacher. This could be somebody in their 30s dating someone in their early 20s who doesn't have their life together. Somebody has to grow up. But this is yikes. Well, they're fighting their impulses, they're fighting their desires, they're sneaking away, talking to this person. I don't want to deal with this. This is Leo, okay? Leo, be careful. Just wait till the person grows up. Give them time. Don't rob the cradle. Give them time to grow up and find themselves. Don't be thirsty as hell. I'm gonna leave it there because I'm getting irritated. Okay. Now onto the sign of Virgo. Virgo. Uranus in the 10th house for Virgo. Gemini. How will Uranus affect Gemini? This is your 10th house, Virgo, which is the house of career, social status. There could be sudden endings and beginnings in this area, disruptions in this area caused by information that comes out that affects your social status, right? You guys could be going back to school. You guys could start publishing a book, start publishing books, start a media company. Uranus in the 10th house in Gemini is great for any sort of media, public relations, communications based business, okay? But Uranus here is disruptive, so there's not going to be any stability in this area for the next 8 years. There'll be ups and downs, periods of stability and periods of just where things just kind of blow up. You think you have it all together, you think things are, you know, aren't going to change, but then they end up changing anyway. So just be careful with that. Let's go with Uranus and Virgo. If the same cards come out as did for Leo, I'm going to gag. Connect. You're being asked to connect with others in meaningful ways. Sometimes it's helpful to get new perspectives and to simply be around other people. You're in need of this right now. Gemini is a sign of connecting with lots of people in superficial ways. You know, casual relationships, casual information, trivia, right? Conversations at the bar, the club, in the street, on the train, in passing, okay? Sometimes it's helpful to get new perspectives and to simply be around other people. You're in need of this right now, and deep connections will benefit you in many ways. You guys may have isolated yourself because of the Neptune and Pisces transit that caused you to lose trust in a lot of people. A lot of disillusionment here. You've experienced just people lying to you, or you lying to yourself, and you've stopped trusting people, so you isolated yourself. This could be the Hangman also. Hangman, I'm seeing some shadowy card. I don't know, Four of Swords, shadowy card. I don't know what shadowy card is going to pop up. The Moon, but a shadowy energy is here. You guys, the Hermit maybe come out also. What's happening with Uranus in Gemini in the 10th house? Next 8 years, Uranus in Gemini, 10th house for Virgos. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel Michael, for your support, your guidance, and protection. Please. Toto, Africa. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, shadowy stuff, the Moon. Not being able to trust anybody, not being able to trust your emotions. You guys may end up going abroad, leaving the country to... Are you from Africa, or going to Africa, or interested in visiting Africa, the motherland, to reconnect with your roots? There's a sense of having, again, what's the word? Ants in your pants. Uranus in the 10th could also indicate moving out of the country for your job. Just to move. You want to get out of here. You can't connect to the people around you anymore. You feel isolated. You don't trust anybody. You might end up going to Africa. Toto is also the name of Dorothy's dog. So you guys could be from Kansas. The Tower, yeah. Some shadowy energies here. Uranus in Scorpio. This the Moon. Like it's this is like an epiphany. You have to get out. It's not you, it's the people you're around. It's the community you're a part of. You're not the problem. Like, you're not wrong for wanting to trust people and connect to people and like people. You're just in the wrong environment for that. You could live in a city or community or country where people are very cutthroat, untrustworthy, you know, superficial, materialistic, opportunistic. You need to get away. Major Arcana, you just need to go. Toto is, you know, going from America to Africa, or going from wherever you are to a whole different continent, is a tower. And that is very disruptive because Uranus is forming a square to your sun, moon, and or rising sign. So yeah, this is, Yeah. And over the next 8 years, you're gonna have some sort of epiphany. This is whatever your life has to change radically. You're leaving the country. A country. You're leaving. You're leaving somewhere that you can't stay. The issue is not you necessarily. You guys may get an astrocartography map. You're not the issue. The issue is the situation you're in. That's the problem. The people you're around, the community, the country, the culture, it's not you. And you're realizing that. Like, no matter where you move to in this place, or no matter where you go, it's the same problems. Wheel of Fortune, all this major arcana, you're out. You're leaving. The South Node is also in your sign. You're dipping out really quickly. You're making a plan to leave. Queen of Pentacles reversed, you're not staying. You're leaving. You're not investing in this anymore. You're not invested in where you are, where you have been. This is done for you. Wherever it's like you want a whole new tribe. You're trying to find your tribe, and your tribe is not where you are currently. People are too ignorant, too small towny, or maybe they're too many yuppies around you, too many racists around you, too many religious people around you, too many capitalists around you, too many misogynists around you, too many pick-me's around you, too many haters. It's just like, this is not you. You gotta leave. You gotta find your tribe on the internet. Okay, you're gonna move. You're moving far away from where you are within the next 8 years, probably more than once, to be honest, because I see there's one acorn on fire. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could move 3 to 4 times. 2 to 4 times you could move over the next 8 years, trying to find that tribe, that feeling of like connectedness and freedom at the same time. Yeah, you don't want to deal with this. You guys could go into Africa, or having African friends, or you could be African, or going to Kansas. It's kind of like a tornado that took Dorothy out of Kansas, and she went to the land of Oz. So you guys could be leaving a small town and just going somewhere where you don't know anybody really. You don't have any ties to anyone. You just want a clean slate. How are you going to do this? You don't know. You got to figure it out. But something's going to show up that will appear to be serendipitous. So there are the universe is lining things up for you to help you to facilitate this move. So you might lose all your friends all of a sudden. You might lose your job all of a sudden. You might lose your home, whatever, and you're going to be encouraged or pushed out of your comfort zone. You know that you have to leave because I'm hearing somebody say people here are ignorant as hell. This ignorant, racist, MAGA, I don't know, dummies, whatever. People who don't know how to think for themselves, people who are brainwashed, people who are in a cult. This could be like Mormons. Like, you're done. You don't want to be here anymore, okay? All right, Virgo, that makes sense. Now into the sign of Libra. Libra, I know you are glad that Uranus is not in your 8th house anymore. That's a very tricky house for Uranus to be in, because that could indicate the revelation of sexual impropriety through some unfortunate circumstances that could lead to divorce, okay? So that's over with now. You've survived. Uranus is going into your 9th house of legal matters, long distance travel, book publishing, foreign affairs. You guys could also be moving out the country. If you're retiring, you're leaving the country. If you're retiring, you plan on leaving the country altogether. Thank you, Archangel Michael and Gabriel, for your support. My nose is itchy, which means that I'm being nosy. Okay. There, guys, archangels, divine messengers. How will the Uranus in Gemini transit affect Libra? Sun, moon, and rising signs. Change, yes. You're leaving the country too, or moving far away from where you are. You're being asked to change a part of yourself that no longer feels like the person you've become or becoming. Some of you guys are retiring. You're retiring over the next 8 years. Change isn't always easy, but letting go of this outdated part of yourself will allow you to align with your true self. When Uranus was in Taurus, you experienced some sort of financial windfall or success financially that caused you to experience some sort of leveling up in your ego identity. It's like you've passed that test, or you've beat that level, and now karmically you're done with that particular path. So you're moving to the 9th house, which could be politics, being interested in politics, interested in, again, moving to a different country, interested in going back to school, philosophy, education, not just about the acquisition of money. You've done that, you've leveled up, and you're done. You want something different. You could be retiring. You want peace. You want, because the in conjunction is uncomfortable for any sign, right? So Taurus is in conjunction to Libra. This was it's just, even though you were successful in a lot of ways, it was stressful for you. It took a lot out of you. Now you want ease, you want comfort, you want to relax, you want to retire, you want your money to work for you instead of you working for your money. So you guys could end up getting into publishing, into media, owning a production company, something where you now control the means of production. You're not being produced, or your energy is not being used. You're not selling your energy. You're not selling your time. You're the one who's buying people's time now. You have the resources for that. So you could change careers and retire. You're done. You can retire now. You've done it already. And you're young too, and still healthy. Spirit guys, thank you for your support. Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Michael, thank you for your support. Now I'm hearing every little thing she does is magic. That sting too. Even though my life before was tragic. I'm hearing lyrics in and out. That's everything she does is magic, right? By Sting. Is this for a person, a woman you're doing this for? You may end up changing for a woman or a man. Every little thing she does is magic. So it's like you may meet someone who inspires you to retire. Like you've worked so hard. You now have the money to live the life you've always wanted with the woman or man you've always wanted to be with. You've leveled up in that way. Every little thing she does is magic. Also, this could indicate that whatever plans you're going to make will be successful. Knight of Cups. Yeah. Pisces energy. Every little thing she does is magic. Dreamy. Librans have the tendency to fall in love fast or fall in lust very quickly. After all, their 7th house is the house of Aries, which is very aggressive energy. Very forthcoming when it comes to relationships or sexual encounters. The 2nd house is ruled by Mars. A lot of their self-esteem comes from sexual conquests, right? So I'll get into that at a point. But yeah, there could be somebody who's inspiring you to settle down. You retire. You've worked really hard for a long time. Now you want to enjoy a beautiful woman, a beautiful man, a beautiful life, a beautiful country, a beautiful sun. You just want to calm down, relax. Pisces is not aggressive, ambitious, active, alpha energy. It's retiring energy. You guys may end up retiring. You may receive a bouquet of flowers when you retire, a letter. Thank you so much for your, hard work. Yeah, retiring. No more work. 8 of Pentacles to 9 of Pentacles. You're retired. You're leaving. Congratulations, Libra. If you're of that age, you could be in your late 40s, early 50s. You put in your time. Over the next 8 years, you're going to retire. Not tomorrow. Like within the 8-year period, you'll enter your late 40s. Could be your 60s, right? Depends. But this is young and healthy. You're retiring at a young age. But you're retiring before 65, before 60. Every little thing he does, you've said this is gonna be successful. You're not gonna be working. You're gonna retire over the next 8 years, and travel a lot, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Queen of Wands, yeah, probably with a woman or man. You're doing it for a woman or a man. You'll meet someone who's inspiring you to do this. Because at one point you were working hard to, I guess, validate your worth to a potential partner, but you're going to meet someone who doesn't care about this, and you have the bag now, so you don't really need to work as hard. You have retirement, you have pension, you have savings, you have investments. Ace of Swords, yeah, you're retiring, you're out, or you're getting a divorce. If you have Venus in Virgo or Venus in Sagittarius, this could be a divorce, but you're retiring from something significant. And I feel good. I feel like this is positive. It's exciting. You're excited, and this is exciting for you. This is good, Libra. Okay? Sometimes Libra readings are very gnarly and busted. So I'm happy to say today that your reading is not busted and gnarly. Okay? So every little thing she does is magic. Yeah. This is a woman that you meet. This could be, I'm not going to say a magician, because we got Pisces and Leo. This could be a woman who's bewitched you, or a man who has a bewitching presence. Someone's under another person's spell. Not for a bad thing, but this person is worth retiring for. You don't want to work as hard anymore. And now that this person's in your life, you want to spend all your free time with them, traveling, exploring, learning, growing, building in a way you haven't been able to before. So you got the bag. This is going to happen in the next 8 years. You're building up to that. It's not overnight. This is not an overnight thing. Okay? You may have made a decision overnight, but the process will take time to come together. Nine of Pentacles. It could be within 9 months to 9 years. This will be done. I would say 9 months. 9 years is a while. It depends how old you are. If you're 31, 9 years is 40, right? So it depends how old you are, but it could be 9 months to 9 years, depending on how old you are, okay? That's cool, Libra. All right, now to the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio. Uranus is going into your 8th house, Scorpio. Okay. It went from the 7th to the 8th. Both are gnarly houses for Uranus to be in. If you were married, Uranus more than likely caused a lot of disruptions in your relationship that could have led to a divorce, especially if you had Venus in Scorpio, okay? So, we'll see. Why are my hands getting clammy, nervous, sweaty? What's going on here? Uranus in the 8th house. The 8th house is about secrets. It's about divorces. Okay, let me just... Wow. Ooh, okay. Well, okay. Some of my viewers are high priestesses, tarot readers, spiritual people. Your magic is becoming more powerful at this time. If you have any abilities, they're going to be amplified. You'll be able to manifest a lot quicker and easier than usual, because this is an inconjunction. Even though inconjunctions are considered disharmonious aspects, the inconjunction indicates that there's a compartmentalization. And when you compartmentalize things, sometimes there's less friction because you're not overthinking things. You're just doing what feels right at the time without any consideration for the consequences, which is why sometimes the inconjunction does work in this case. Especially when it comes to Gemini. Some of you guys, your magician is becoming stronger. Your magic is becoming stronger. I'm hearing the same song I heard for Libra, but for different reasons. Every little thing she does is magic by Sting. So for Libra's reading, it was about a relationship and retirement. For you, it's like your magic is getting stronger. And you know it. And you're more confident in it in some way. Your natural abilities. It might even be like occult stuff. It could just be your natural talents and skills and gifts are getting stronger. And so you're becoming more skilled at something. You're becoming more exceptional, more gifted, more interesting as a person, because you know so much, you're learning so much. It's like whatever natural abilities you have, they're being amplified at this time. It could be intellect, it could be an artistic skill, it could be magic, but you're being seen as somebody magical over the next 8 years. Connect. Virgo had this card. You're being asked to connect with others in meaningful ways. Sometimes it's helpful to get new perspectives and to simply be around other people. You're in need of this right now, and deep connections will benefit you in many ways. Connecting. So were you also disconnected, Scorpio? Which would make sense. Uranus in the 7th house was squaring the 10th house. Yeah, you don't trust anybody. Uranus opposed in the 1st house. People flaky, sometimey, iffy, fake ass people. Broken relationships. That would make sense. This is you finding your tribe again. Virgo had this, I think. This is magician stuff. Magician, Queen of Wands. High Priestess energy. I'm hearing magic, magic, magic. Magic, magic, magic. Every little thing she does is magic. So you guys are going to use magic to turn your life around. The star card here that wanted to pop up for me for some reason. Someone's hands. My hands are becoming clammy. Somebody's using their hands for something. They're skilled at something with their hands. Doing hair, cooking. My hands are getting like wet because it's like something's being activated within the hands. Reiki, massage. Some sort of spiritual gift with the hands. Gemini is the hands. And usually magic is performed not just through words, which is Gemini, but also through action, through your hands, right? Certain recipes, certain gestures, motions. You guys are becoming some sort of energy healer by what you do. It doesn't have to be like tarot or anything. It could be whatever you were born to do. It could be your voice. 5 of Pentacles. Interesting. This is you're healing something. This is a large task, Scorpio. You don't think you're prepared for it. It's almost there. It's like the key is right here, but I'm going to say this. Well, Scorpio, you don't have a choice but to do this. You don't have a choice but to do this. If you don't do this, then you'll be locked out of abundance, opportunities, and blessings. There's something that you know you're good at. The 5 of Pentacles doesn't have to be financial loss and ruin. It could be like a lack of fulfillment, hating your job, hating your relationship, hating your life, feeling like you're not living in your purpose, feeling disconnected. There's no one here in this barn room but her. Oh, Lord. Hold on. Outside of this door is the key to connect to the collective. Some of you guys have keys within you. Neptune is coming up for me here also. There's some sort of key within you guys that you can unlock within people. You can unlock some aspects of people's psyche. You can unlock energy. You can unlock. This door isn't even locked. This is you being afraid to do what you're supposed to do because you're afraid of being betrayed. You don't know enough. You don't have enough, which is not true. The 5 of Pentacles could be a financial deprivation or loss or lack. But I think this is like the kick in the pants you need to do what you're supposed to do. It's like you've gotten too comfortable doing something you shouldn't be doing. It was supposed to be a stepping stone. There's something else that you're magical at. This card keeps coming up. Is this one or two cards? This is you. Right. This is a contradiction here. You're going to keep feeling like this because you're not doing this. The King of Cups is someone who it's not just about how you feel about yourself. It's your connection to your purpose. This person's eyes are closed, not because they're hiding in despair, but because they don't need anybody to show them or tell them what to do. It's intuitive. It's natural. But you're locked out of that because you think that someone else has the key to your prosperity, or someone else has a key to your fulfillment. This is all about you, Scorpio. You have to connect to yourself and people in meaningful ways. You're around the wrong people too. You got to find your tribe. You're not around people who respect this aspect of your identity. Suppose you're at a job that's like you're an accountant or a lawyer, but you want to do hair, or you want to become a Reiki massage person. You're being stifled spiritually and financially at some point because you're going to be relied on somebody else for your sustenance. That's the challenge. You'll be able to keep your job, or if you don't keep your job, then it'll be the sign from the universe to do what you're supposed to be doing. But even if you keep your job, you're not going to be fulfilled here. You'll always be worried about losing your job, somebody having control over your fate and your destiny, somebody having control over your resources. There's a risk of you losing your job at this time because the 8th house is other people's resources, losing another source of income that comes from someone else, not from you. But that's not a punishment. Or if you don't lose it, then again, it won't be enough. For some reason, it'll feel like you're cheating yourself. 3 of Cups. This is magic to me. The song comes back up. Every little thing she does is magic. Page of Cups. An apology, reunion with other women. I'm saying witches coven, but other women in the same industry you want to work in. Friends, associates, people on social media. This is a card of union, 3 of Cups. The card of union, celebration, fun times, enjoying the company of other people. This person's by themselves. There are people you need to get out there, Scorpio, and connect with the outside world. I'm gonna find out what's stopping you. Because I'm getting like something is blocking. Ace of Pentacles reverse. Yeah, you guys could encounter financial issues or miss out on opportunities. You might think that you don't have enough, you don't know enough, you're not good enough, you're not enough to do this. This is Taurus, this is Scorpio. Uranus did smash up your 7th house. I think that's what the issue is. The fact that Uranus did affect your sense of security. So you're holding on to whatever security you have now, like a life raft in the middle of an ocean. But that's not sustainable. Whatever you're doing now is not going to be sustainable. It will not exist in a few years. This stream of income won't exist in a few years, or if it does, it won't be enough to give you the life that you want. You still feel like this. You'll always be walking on eggshells, trying not to hurt people's feelings at your job, trying not to get fired. You don't have any emotional sovereignty, King of Cups, because you don't believe in yourself. King of Wands is asking you to take on this Leo energy. 10th house, confidence, knowing who you are without second guessing yourself. Queen of Wands, yes. This is the Magician. Something on with your hands, power, magic, doing something with your hands, even writing, sewing clothes, cooking, doing something with your hands. The Hierophant, Taurus energy. That's going to give you the security you want. You guys are like this is 4 Pentacles and 6 of Pentacles. So the 4 of Pentacles is like holding on to what you currently have because you're afraid of losing it. And that inability to like, there's like a fear of poverty, a fear of losing stability. But because you're afraid of losing it, you don't have it anyway. You're going to stay at a job that's not paying you enough money. You're going to intentionally be financially taken advantage of at your job because you're not doing what you're supposed to do anyway. If you were to get the money that you thought you deserved, you wouldn't do what you're supposed to be doing. Hierophant, Queen of Wands, King of Wands. This is a magician, a manifester. Someone who uses their hands to heal, to help, to create, to cultivate, to empower, to build. You can't do that at your job. Your job is not, whatever you're doing right now is not enough. You're going to have to find your tribe to help you do this. Okay, Scorpio? All right. Down to the sign of Sagittarius. Sun, moon, and rising signs. Sagittarius, Uranus is going into your 7th house of marriage, partners, business, relationships, squaring the 4th house of long distance travel, moving to new residence, 10th house of career. So you guys are going to be experiencing a lot of shifts and changes in your life over the next 8 years as well, like the Virgos, like the Sagittarians. Sorry, like the Virgos, like the Pisceans, like the Geminians, okay? What's happening for Sagittarius? Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Uranus, and Gemini, please. This could be a marriage that happens out of the blue. You could meet someone that you fall in love with instantly. You guys get married really quickly, but it's an unconventional relationship. The person could be bisexual, different race, different culture, long distance travel, age difference, and the marriage could also end as quickly because of discord incompatibilities. And you rushed into a relationship too early. Okay, give. Why does this keep coming out? This came out 3 times already. One of the best feelings we can experience is giving to others. When we do so, we feel lifted up in our lives, improved greatly because of someone else's happiness. Think of one way you can give to another today. What do you have to give and offer to the world? What do you want to give? Sagittarius. You can't give if you have nothing to give, or if you don't value what you have to offer in the first place. So you're being asked to evaluate and assess the value of your life, right? Of yourself, what you have to offer, your skills, your gifts, your abilities, your intellect, your experience. There's something that you have, and this is, akin to the Aquarian energy, because Uranus is forming a trine to Pluto in Aquarius. So it's about the collective. What can you give to other people to benefit them and you at the same time? Also, this could be give and take in a partnership, in a relationship. Come on. Okay. Uranus and Gemini for Sagittarius, please. Uranus and Gemini for Sagittarius. Every little thing. Page of Wands, okay? This is new goals, a new vision for your life, which makes sense. Neptune and Gemini did destroy a lot of what you thought was real, what you thought was stable, what you thought was sustainable, what you thought was going to last forever. It's gone. New goals, new plans, new dreams, new vision. Pisces, twice. I'm saying twice. Pisces is here. That's your 4th house. You guys you're moving to a new location the next 8 years. You may find love in this location too. When you do move, you're like, the type of relationship you want to get into, you can't where you are currently because of the culture. Who had this issue? I think Virgo also had the problem with like being around the wrong type of people because of the neighborhood. It's not you, it's the community you're part of, the culture of the community you were raised in, something like that. I'm here. There's a bunch of coons in your area. Coons, clowns. Page of Cups. 2 pages. Yeah, this is... You're researching. You're trying to figure out how to do this logistically. But the page goes to the Knight. You're going to take action at some point. Justice reverse. You guys could be coming out of a divorce or the end of a relationship. If you do get involved with this person, they're going to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. They're going to give you the support and the love and the compassion and protection you've always wanted. But be careful again, because Gemini and Uranus in the 7th house is not the most stable, consistent, trustworthy energy. Pisces is also mutable. So mutability is subject to change at a moment's notice for whatever reason. But Justice reverse. This is unfair treatment that you've received in the past. But I feel like that's going to be corrected. That's going to be righted by you. You're going to fix that. You're going to fix that somehow. I think you'll change your choices. You'll change your options, your choices. You'll change who's in your inner circle or who you connect to or deal with. So you're the justice here. Justice reverse is sometimes divorce, breakup, being treated unfairly in your relationship. There could be somebody coming to apologize to you for that, or the universe could be sending you someone to help to restore the balance of what you've lost in these relationships. If you weren't treated fairly, you're going to be receiving fair treatment. 6 of Pentacles, yeah. Give and take, restoring of fairness, balanced relationships. King of Swords, this is a divorce. So you guys lost a lot in a divorce. An ex could be coming back to you as well. Such a contradiction. You guys have taken on this posture of the King of Swords because you've had your heart broken so many times, or you're tired of dealing with imbalanced people, unfair people. Could be Aries here too. Justice reverse. So yeah, what it looks like is that you're going to be giving. What are you going to give yourself? You're going to give yourself a new life. You're going to give yourself a new life, a new start, a new opportunity, new something. Because, and you're going to do that by traveling. You're going to move. Moving, this wand represents movement, taking action. And it's like this is you making plans, but the plans have not been solidified yet. This is like a waiting process. You're going to have to wait a couple of years or months to get this done. You have to save some money up. When you do move, you're going to meet somebody new, out of the blue, someone different from your usual type. The person could be divorced, serious, older. Okay, but giving. You can't give what you don't have. Well, so you can't pour from an empty cup. You've been neglecting yourself in some way, which is why you can't give. There's something, you can't give what you don't have. If you want to give something but you don't have it to give, then that's something you have to work on. If you want to give or create a sense of community, if you want to give back in some way, but you don't have it to give back, then that means you haven't been giving to yourself. The very thing you're looking to give, you haven't been giving to yourself. 6 of Pentacles, Justice reverse, lack of balance here. You're looking for qualities and partners that you don't have for yourself as well. Something here is not reciprocal. Because giving represents an exchange of energy. There's something you're doing or that you've done that created an energetic imbalance, either towards you or other people. Well, towards you mainly. You've been overgiving to someone or something and depleting yourself in the process. And it's like that one thing there's that one imbalance is creating a domino effect in other areas of your life. So you could be giving too much in one area and not enough in others. There's a lack of appreciation or reciprocity, justice reverse. So you're being asked to give to yourself first and then give to others. Rebuild your foundation. Pour into your own cup. Restore yourself. Heal yourself. Nurture and nourish yourself. And then share what you have with others. Within reason, of course. This is the 6, not the 10. Don't give it all away, of course. Be fair, okay? All right, now let's go into the sign of Capricorn. Sun, moon, and rising sign. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising signs for Uranus and Gemini. Capricorn, Uranus is going to be in your 6th house. The 6th house is not considered the best house in astrology for anything. It's considered one of the more negative houses. It deals with like debts and lawsuits and slavery and health issues and just indigence, even like having no money at all, losing everything. And you know, it deals with just what's the word? Thankless work. Again, health problems. Lots of issues coming at once. So there could be something where you're dealing with a whole bunch of issues at one time. Like it's everything hitting you at once. It doesn't have to be bad, but just one thing after the other could be hitting you at some point. Over the next 8 years, you'll feel like, oh my God, what the hell? I need a break. So there could be back-to-back stuff happening. Now, Pluto was in your sign for the past, from 2007 to 2023, 24. So you went through a lot of changes in that area of your life. But Uranus in the 6th house doesn't have to be bad. It just means that you're going to have to make some adjustments as far as your lifestyle, your career, your financial resources, your daily habits and routines. There could be some legal issues that pop up for some reason. Health issues also, if you're not taking care of your health, especially if you're older. Fresh start. You're being given the opportunity to begin again. Allow yourself to embrace this new life and open up fully to this gift you've been given. And usually we have a fresh start after we lose everything. This comes after the Tower moment. This is like the Ace of Pentacles after losing the 9 and 10 of Pentacles. So begin again, that means something ended. The Fool card is here, right? Something ended. Significantly. Doesn't mean you can't rebuild. It just means that you might end up retiring also. Uranus in the 6th house is retirement. New source of income as well. Doesn't always have to be bad, but Uranus and Gemini, how will this affect Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and rising signs? Over the next 8 years, how will Uranus and Gemini affect Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and rising signs over the next 8 years, please? King of Swords, Aquarius energy, your 2nd house of finances and resources, personal values and assets, Knight of Wands, yeah. Divorce court, something like that. Trying to protect somebody's coming after your money. It could be a divorce here, or some, like I said, one thing after another. I'm not trying to give you guys like all bad news. It doesn't have to be all bad, but whatever is being taken out of your life doesn't belong there. Whatever you're losing does not belong in your life. You've accumulated a lot of garbage people, garbage ideas, garbage money, just a bunch of waste. You're trying to hold on to that which you have cultivated. 2nd house monies could be a problem, especially if you work for a living, you have a job. You could go through some sort of financial setbacks or like job losses or furloughs or something like that, where stability is no longer guaranteed. The King of Swords is fixed air. So that's your second house of money, right? You want stable source of income, but there's something going on where it's like this thing's happening unexpected. Divorces, economic downturns, real estate bubbles, like this stuff going on that was not in your plans. I just noticed that there's a bat here. This bat does not... This is a bat? I'm going to say this. I'm kind of getting like illness. I just noticed a bat flying. Airborne illness. Uranus and Gemini in the 6th and also the 8th too. For Scorpio. You have to be careful when traveling. You guys could contract an airborne illness, tuberculosis, bronchitis, pneumonia, something that causes like a domino effect. It could deplete you energetically. And on top of that, Neptune and Saturn are square your sun. Neptune square the sun does weaken the life force. It makes you more susceptible to illness. And Saturn too. And Saturn's debilitated, which is your planetary ruler. So you're going to have to safeguard your health. The Ten of Swords is not here, so you're not going to transition. It's just going to be that, okay, if something happens where you got to make some radical changes to your diet, your lifestyle, your drinking habits, drug, whatever. It's like, what's next? I just went through this. I just survived this or whatever. Like something, it's like back-to-back stuff happening. You know, like an illness could lead to a job loss, could lead to the loss of a house, could lead to loss of a marriage. Like it's kind of a domino effect here. All these wands representing things you could lose. You're holding on to one thing though, which is you, right? You have the ability to rebuild because you are who you are. But this is stuff that's in danger of being taken away because of a calamity. Unforeseen. Uranus in the 6th in Gemini is just, you know, two malefics in the 6th. Well, malefics in the 6th house typically are not that bad, but here I'm seeing like a lot of challenges that you'll be able to overcome. The 9 of Wands is here. I don't see the Death card, the 10 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles. I don't see those like, okay, ending cards, but we'll see. Clarify that, because this could be your family too. This could be like, okay, you know, my spouse, somebody's spouse passed away, God forbid, right? They've been sick for a while. Then right after that, their mom gets sick, God forbid. Right after that, like it's back-to-back stuff where like, damn, I just buried somebody last week. Now you gotta do the legal paperwork for that, power of attorney, insurance, you know, wills, stuff like this, like back-to-back bullshit. Who was dealing with this? Sagittarius dealt with this recently. 3 of Swords, yeah. You know, it's not the 10 of Swords. Like I said, it's just disappointing things where you have to like start over. The 4 of Swords, yeah. I'm getting this kind of illness, and then in some cases this could be like family illnesses, losing people in the family. Again, Neptune's in the 4th, right? So Neptune in the 4th could also represent a lot of transitions in the family, because the 4th house is the house of the grave, cemeteries, things buried underground, and like your family, older people in your family who are already sick could fall victim to some sort of airborne illness. The Swords are here twice. Airborne, I'm seeing the bat here for a reason. Some sort of rodent virus. Airborne. I've never noticed a bat until today. But the bat is small and it's behind you. You're going to overcome this, but there's going to be stuff that you'll have to contend with. It's like, because you got the money in the family, you're going to have to take care of everybody. So 3 or 4 people get sick. 1, 2, 3, 4, like people get sick all in your family. Nobody has a life insurance policy, so you're the ones taking care of the funerals. You're paying for everybody's medical bills, like stuff like that. You're the one being the caretaker and also paying the bills, and also it's a lot. But you're the reason why it's happening to you is because you have the resources for it and you have the strength to deal with it. So the Ten of Swords is not here. It's just, it'll feel like it sometimes. The Tower isn't here. These are issues that have been long standing, especially if you're older, if like in your 50s, something like that, late 40s or whatever, or you have elderly relatives and partners and stuff. It could cause like you to have to start all over, like a whole. This sword is cutting out the riffraff, the waste, the drama, people. You may have to bury a lot of people, Capricorn. But these people were already sick. Nine of Wands, like long-term illnesses in the family. It won't be a sudden Ten of Swords type illness. It'll be like a long, drawn out thing, like cancer and stuff like that. God forbid. I'm not trying to put this on anybody, but that's what came up here. Okay. All right, Capricorn, good luck with that. Now let's go on to the sign of Aquarius. Sun, moon, and rising signs, please. Thank you, Spirit Guys. Good luck, Aquarius. Good luck, Capricorn. Sorry about that reading. It's kind of busted, but here we are. All right, Spirit Guys, let's go to Aquarius. Sun, moon, and rising signs. Aquarius, Uranus is now in your 5th house of fun, romance, children, excitement, activity. You now have stability in your life to some extent. Financial stability, home stability, career stability. I don't want to say relationship stability, because if you do have relationship stability, that stability is going to be gone when Uranus enters the 5th house. The 5th house is the house of casual romance affairs, flings, so on and so forth. If you're single, it's a great time to date and have lots of relationships. If you're not single, then you could be drawn to a third party situation, and or your partner could be as well. But you want to have fun. You want to have fun. You're tired of the drudgery. You're tired of anxiety and fear about stability, not having enough, not being enough, not knowing enough, dealing with people at work. You're tired of it. You want to have fun. You want to get back to enjoying your life and your friends. You used to be a fun person. You're like, I used to have fun. I used to go out. I used to hang out with my friends. I used to enjoy my life. And Pluto and Capricorn, it really ground everybody into dust, because Pluto is Mars and Mars is Mars and Pluto, and Capricorn is Saturn. So you have Mars and Saturn together for 14 years. Hypercapitalism, greed among the so-called oligarchs, aka the cannibals, right? Everybody's a girl boss or a guy boss. Everybody's an entrepreneur. Everybody's wants to get rich. There's no more concern about family values, tradition, customs, culture. It's all about getting to the bag. It was a nasty transit for everybody. It squeezed out the culture and the enjoyment from the whole world, and especially the United States. Everything's more expensive. There's no more fun time. There's no more social spaces. No more third spaces. It's all about making money. Everything is commodified. And you're like, damn, I want to have fun. Aquarius may be the ones leading the charge for more social activities. You guys want to open up some clubs. You're going to open up lounges. You're going to open up third spaces. You'll be not just going to third spaces, but you're creating them. You're going to be creating the community that you want. Okay? You're going to do that. You're not waiting for anybody else to do it. You'll be the life of the party. Create. Thank you. You're being asked to connect with your creative side, 5th house, in whatever way feels best. This part of you needs extra attention right now. It needs to be expressed in a bigger way, right? So you're going to go from going to people's clubs to making your own social clubs. You have a craving for that type of dynamic environment, lots of people, lots of energy, lots of activity. The 5th house is opposing the 11th house, which is your home, the house of your domicile, Aquarius, right? So you want to have fun. You're actually mad. Some Aquarians are like, yo, what the hell happened to my life? Like, this is whack. Now, Aquarians are a fixed sign, but they're Uranian. And Uranian people become very disruptive when they're frustrated. They will throw everything in the garbage that they've worked hard for, literally in a second, once they find out or they figure out that thing is holding them back from living the life that they want. Aquarians want to have fun, right? Their opposite sign is Leo. The 5th house is Gemini. You want to have fun. Where's the fun? And Pluto's in your sign too. You want to have fun. F all that. So you're going to make the fun. You're going to be the ones, you'll be like the life of the party. You're going to be the ones who are like the socialites. But you're going to create your own groups, clubs, organizations. If you have Aquarian friends, hang out with them, because they're going to be the ones that are like gathering large groups of people together for fun times. Geminis to an extent, and Libras as well, but Aquarians more so. Because Geminis are more so about like, yes, casual relationships, but like in passing, right? Walking to the store and you talking to somebody, hey, what's up, what's going on? Aquarius is more so about like your actual fraternity, your organization, your job, the people you commune with every single day that are not your spouse, they're not your sibling, they're not your romantic partner, they're acquaintances. So I know you, but I'm not like married to you or whatever. So these are people that have a long-standing relationship. It's not romantic, it's platonic, or it's like professional, but still, it's a relationship. That's not really Gemini or Libra. Libra is more so about one-to-one partnerships and even diplomatic relations among business partnerships, but it's not about like the social group. It's not about whole groups of people. That's Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius is like 50 people. Libra is like 2 people. And Gemini is like a bunch of people, but in passing. They don't really have any lasting impact on the Gemini's life. Okay, what's going on with Uranus and Gemini? How is it going to affect Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs? How will Uranus and Gemini affect Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs over the next 8 years? I'm hearing it's my house and I live here. You're going to move too? Are you going to move as well? You know what? If you're living in a corny ass city that's expensive as hell, you're going to move somewhere that's cheaper, where your money can go further and you can have more time for fun. A part of the reason why you're not having fun is because you can't afford it, because you're living in an expensive city. You have a great job maybe, or you make good money, but everything is so expensive that you can't even enjoy your life. So you're going to move somewhere where the cost of living is lower and you have more money in your pocket. You're moving. It's my 5 Pentacles. Yeah. You got the money, but you don't have it to spend for yourself. It's there, but it's not there for you. That's why you're mad. It's there, but it's not there for you. Taurus. That is your 4th house. Uranus and Taurus, right? I got all this money. I'm making, but every time I get a raise, my rent goes up. My mortgage goes up. I'm going to move somewhere where my money goes further. I'm sick of this SHIT. Yep. I'm sick of this. I want to have fun. I want to move somewhere where my money goes longer. So I'm making $150,000 a year now, but I can't even afford a backyard to have a barbecue. My friends come over. My place is so small. Like nonsense like that. You're cultivating that community, that sense of family. You can't do that now because of your job or where you live. You want to have fun. You want to have fun. And you're going to. This is Virgo energy. Virgo is your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of other people's resources. Making your money work for you. That's where you're going towards also. It's like you're tired of the grind because you have some stability. Things are working out. But Pluto in your sign is also encouraging you to make some drastic changes to your lifestyle. You want more power over your time, energy, and resources. You don't want to be at the mercy of the market or your boss or your coworkers or, your landlord or the bank. You want autonomy, independence, and wealth. So you're going to create something. I could see you guys like creating a social club, creating a bar, creating a space where people can commune, have fun, and they'll pay you for that. They'll pay you for that experience. Club, bar, group, something. A place where people can, like adults can vibe and connect and just be real with each other. Have a good time like they used to back in the day. You could be an older millennial, Gen X, or somebody who's like, yo, what happened to my life? This sucks. This is corny as hell. This is corny. I don't want to live like this anymore. I have money, but I'm still broke. No matter what I do, I can't get out of this hole or whatever. Like I just, 3 of Wands, I'm out. Somebody's moving. 3 of Cups reverse, I'm out. Nope. So Three of Cups reverse is like, this is sometimes, no celebration. Okay, here's the thing. This is like failed plans. Like, I think for you guys, the last straw may be like watching your friends traveling and having fun together, and you're always at work. You never have enough money to travel, or you don't or time to travel, because you're watching other people live the life you want to live. Three of Cups reverse turns into Three of Wands upright. You know what? Let me get out of here, because I can't work hard enough to make enough money to live the life that I want. I'm still going to be just struggling. I'd rather make $75,000 living in a mid-tier city than $180,000, $200,000 living in New York City, in Miami, in Cali. I'd rather move to, I don't know, somewhere elsewhere besides that, because this is whack. This is whack. This is not worth it to you anymore. You thought it would be, like you thought that you were chasing a carrot, right? Courtesy of, Uranus in the 4th house. You want that stability. You got the stability now, but you're still not stable because it's not enough money. It's not enough money. Hermit reverse. Yeah, yep. The Emperor. Yep. You're going to be the ones like creating social groups, social clubs. Like having your own little hookah bars or lounges or whatever, place for people. This is so cool for Aquarians. If you have Aquarian friends, help them out with this. Aquarians are going to be the ones that are jumping off the third spaces the next 14 years, especially when Uranus enters Gemini. Your Aquarian friends, Sun, Moon, and rising signs, Jupiter in Aquarius, maybe Mars in Aquarius to an extent. They're going to be the ones jumping off these third spaces versus like having large groups of people come together to just like hang out and chill and vibe. No mess, no drama, no dustiness. I'm feeling good just thinking about it. Like just getting back to the good old vibes of having culture and community. That's Aquarians. That's the task of the Aquarian for the next 14 years. During the age of Capricorn, Pluto, or the era of Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn, it was about making the most amount of money. Get into the bag, selling your ass for money, right? Commodifying everything is commodified now. Every single thing you got to pay for just about, except air. And even then you're trying to do that too. So that's over. Now it's about coming together as a community to restore what Capricorn broke. Capricorn broke the connection to family, community, and culture. It was all about becoming the richest man in the world. Having all this money and you're still ugly and miserable. Still, Jeff Bezos. All these billionaires are ugly as hell and still miserable. How do you have all this money? You're still fucking miserable. It's disgusting. So now Aquarius is going to create some sort of, it's going to restore the balance in these types of energies, because it's like, this is not Aquarius. They want to have fun. They feel hemmed in. 5 of Pentacles. They feel trapped. This is Taurus energy. They feel like they're hemmed into, a bind or a situation that's preventing them from living their best life. Even though Uranus was in Taurus, it was still forming a square to your sun. So it's like, I gotta work hard to pay these bills, otherwise I won't have anywhere to live. So you guys may have changed careers, changed lifestyles, and you've gotten the money, but it's like, it's still not enough. Like, what the hell? What's the point of doing this? So you're like, you know what? Let me start my own social club. Let me start a hookah bar, lounge, bookstore, somewhere we can commune and share ideas. That's what's up. That's really what's up. Congrats to you, Aquarius. We need this, because the Pluto and Capricorn era was so trash for everybody, except the ugly what's the word? Cannibals who call themselves capitalists. Okay. All right, let's get into, let me see what was next. Yeah, Ace of Swords, new communication. You're done. You're putting this down. Fuck this job. And this apartment. Get out of here. Like, I'm done. So you're leaving. 10 of Wands becomes 3 of Wands. You're leaving. Okay. All right. Next step, Pisces. Thank you for listening, guys. I haven't done these in a while. I need to rebuild my stamina. I've been MIA for a long time. Just rebuilding my stamina back up again because... Woo-wee. So I'm going to say woo-wee. You guys can read between the lines. what wooey means. Anyway. All right, let's continue with Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Last but not least, Pisces. What's happening with you guys? Pisces, 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 Pisces. Uranus is going to be in your 4th house. So you should confer with Aquarians, Leos, Tauruses, and Geminis about what they've been through since 2018, okay? You're going to move also. You're going to move multiple times, 2, 3, 4 times during this transit. And probably you'll move for school, or you'll move for work, or you'll move because you want more stimulation in your environment. Okay. Pisces, what's happening? Align. Thank you. You're being asked to align with your current situation, even if it's not easy to do so. Trust that there's so much to be learned by being here. Pushing against what is will only make things harder on you. Align, surrender, trust. Yes. And alignment means moving. You're moving into alignment to, I don't know, a certain frequency based on the type of people in your neighborhood, a certain tribe, group, culture, club, community, something. So whatever you're doing over the next 8 years is going to be in alignment with your soul's purpose. And you're going to have to move to do that. You could be moving out of your parents' house. You could be moving to your, out of a college dorm. You could be moving across country, moving for divorce. Uranus in one of the angular houses does sometimes portend divorce or career change. You may have to move for your job. You may decide to move overseas. I can see moving overseas too. Uranus in the 4th, long distance travel in a whole different environment, from like you living around people who speak a different language than you, who are of a different culture, different race, different nationality. You're done also. You're not, something here is off. You guys are going to be fidgeting in your seats. Fidgeting, constant fidgeting of hands and feet. It's like fidgeting energy as well. Yeah, fidgeting hands and feet. Page of Cups. I don't know what I want to do, but I know I don't want to be here anymore. You'll find out. King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is the 3rd house for you. That is the house of Taurus. You've gone through a lot of changes in this house the past couple of years. You have stability, but you don't have alignment. So there's money coming in, but you don't like the way that you're making the money. So you're going to have to move to make money in a different way. You may end up retiring early, or I don't know, starting over at an entry-level position. Page of Cups, King of Pentacles. There's something dealing with, there's a contradiction between financial security and stability, and also alignment. The job pays well, but I don't like being here. I hate this job. I hate this neighborhood. I hate these people. I want to move. I don't like this house. I hate this country. And things of that nature. But how am I gonna get out of here? How am I gonna do this? Logistics. That's why it's an 8-year transit, not a 2-year transit. It takes time to map these things out. But over the course of the next several years, you're going to lose certain things, or you'll have to let go of certain things, right? Release certain things for you to come into alignment with this lifestyle. There's going to be some ego deaths here as well, okay? 6 of Wands reverse. The reason why you're having a hard time letting this go is because you're afraid of how other people will see you, what they'll say about you. If it's a marriage, definitely. Temperance and the Star card, yeah. You know what? Wow. That's really, really nice. You want to get here. You're not here yet. Or you are here, but okay, this is like somebody making $300,000 a year, working in an oil rig, right? Oil fields, doing really dirty, hard, dangerous work. Or you could be making $300,000 a year as a farmer, as someone who makes content on social media, right? As someone who turns their home into a source of income. I'm sorry. Uranus was in your 3rd house of short distance travel. Your neighbors. You guys could have moved a lot, traveled a lot. Uranus now in your 4th house. Yeah, so you guys, you're going to find ways of making the same amount of money or close to the same amount of money, but doing what you love to do. But you gotta figure it out. Like, how am I gonna do that? It's gonna be hard for you because at some point you may have loved your job or bragged about your job, or you're afraid of other people saying you're crazy for leaving that good job in this economy. Oh my God, you're getting paid $500,000 a year as a software developer, but you're like, I work 18 hours a day. I hate my boss. I hate my job. I hate these people. F everybody. You're gonna try to find a way of making the same amount of money, or even less money, because you don't need that much money, really. You're like, you know what? I don't need $500,000 a year if I'm stressed out all day. I'm good with $200,000 a year living in a mid-tier city or living in a different country altogether. So you're figuring out the logistics of how to let this go. But people will be like, oh my God, why did you get a divorce? Why did you sell that beautiful house? Why did you leave that lucrative job? Why did you do, that's the biggest issue. And the problem is that because you're so concerned about other people's opinions of you, you're not living in alignment. So you did things in the past based on what other people expect you to do. You got the career that you were told to get. You married the person you were told to marry. You moved where you told you were supposed to move because that's where all the rich people live. Something like that. You were living according to other people's expectations of you, and now you're out of alignment. In order to get into alignment, you have to let those things go. Uranus in the 4th house will release some of those things for you. All the anchor points in your chart, right? Where you live, your career, your relationship, and even your identity, that's shifting radically over the next 8 years. So because of that, you'll be able to make the same or similar amount of money, or even less money, but with a better lifestyle. The Star card and Temperance. This is perfect. This is exactly where I need to be. Exactly where I need to be. It's going to take some adjustment. People are going to say things. They're going to judge. They're going to have their own little, remarks. Who cares about them? Nobody cares about people's opinions anymore because most people have revealed themselves to be stupid as hell. Okay? And fake. All that matters is you living for you and you doing what's best for you. Okay? All right, guys. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to do a Trump era tarot reading right now. Once I close this out. I look forward to reading your feedback. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.